Hey guys, Grayson here again with a little bit of Freedom Church basics for audio. Today we're going to be talking about the monitor console, which is right there. We're going to talk all about it. We're going to go through the basics of it, how to turn it on, turn it off, and how to use it very simply. Here we go. So first thing we got to talk about is how do we turn it on? What do we do first? So you can see there's lights down here. They're already on, so you don't really have to do much there. Once it's plugged in, it's on, it's good to go. We need to turn on the console though. So first thing we're going to do, take off the dust cover. We got to fold it up. Got to keep it nice. So just like front of house, we always take the dust cover here. I'll show you. We fold it up so you can take it. And I'm going to show you where we can keep it right behind the console. So coming around the console here, on the back, you're going to see wires and all kinds of stuff. You'll see a little door, a little cool brush plate in there, all kinds of stuff. So for right now, I'm just going to tuck it right in here. Just to where we know it'll be when we're done. Okay, and while we're at the back of the console, since we put the dust cover away, we can go to the back right here. There's a power switch right above this little power plug. So we'll turn it on. And by us doing that, the console will begin to turn on. All right, while this console is turning on, let me tell you a couple things. So the console itself controls and sends signal to all these packs down here. You really need to know a ton about it yet, but all these packs are different people's wireless in-ears. So there's 8 different wireless packs here. And then on the back side, I'll go show you that now. On the back side, all of this gets wired in. So there's wires here that run all the way back up into those packs around the front. And then there's some wires that go into this loom and go back here because we have 2 instruments that are on wired packs, meaning they don't have the wireless one up front. They just literally get wired in. Okay, so first things first, let's talk about what's on the console, and then we'll go through how to use it. So this is the Allen & Heath GLD 80. If you're looking at the manual, there it is. It's a little bit older of a console, but it serves our purpose perfectly. So if you've ever run one of our other audio consoles, this will look familiar, but we have all the drums in order first. Kick in, kick out. There's 2 different microphones on the kick. Snare, one on the top, one on the bottom, microphones. Rack tom has got 1 mic, then 2 microphones on the floor tom, or F tom, floor tom. Overhead, left and right. And then we have bass and then keys, which are a lighter blue color in person. And on the, if I go down this layer, and you'll notice none of the faders are up right now, and that's okay, that's normal. We can get into all the details of these buttons and all that kind of stuff later, but for right now, I just want to show you what's on the console. So the console is set up in just layers. So if we're on bank 1 layer A, this is what we see. If we go to bank 1 but layer B, we see that the colors have changed. So on here we'll have acoustic guitar, which has come through twice, so we can get a mix of EQ on it. We've got 2 inputs for electric guitar 1. That's 1 mic and then another mic. 2 mics on electric guitar 2. And then we have these that are a little hard to see on the camera here. But if you, I'm going to try to adjust my camera so you can see them. So this right here, you'll see these are all from our computer that's back at the drum set, which is way back over there, over there. These are all from a computer. So guide is something that basically tells you chorus, 2, 3, 4. It's a nice quick way to keep everybody where they are on the song, if it, just in case anybody gets lost. Click track is literally a metronome that helps keep everybody on time. Normally the drummer is going to want the most of that, but usually musicians like a little bit of it. Percussion tracks includes like shakers and all kinds of things that the drummer can't play at the same time where they're actually playing drums. Then we have synth tracks, which are, you know, more type of keys kind of things. Guitar tracks, because a lot of times on songs, there are more than 2 guitars playing at the same time. So we need to have lots of backgrounds for that. And then some vocals in the background, because sometimes there's multiple harmony parts that are unable to be covered by just the few people that are on stage. So we have those, and a lot of people want those in their ears as well. So let's go to the next layer, layer C on bank 1. And this is where we have our vocal mics, 1 through 7. Normally our vocalists will be on 1 through 4, and then 5, 6, and 7 are usually for hosting. So if they want some of Pastor, they can they'll ask for more of 7, and we'll pull that up. So, and I'll show you a little bit how to do that in a minute. Then these next 4 over here, I'm gonna again get my camera to focus here. Front of house left, front of house right. We have 2 microphones back there that get us some good audio there in the room. they may or may not want that signal. Then we have audience left or right and left. And those are on stage microphones that capture, you know, singing along, clapping, those kind of things from the audience perspective. So that's kind of a nice thing to have as well. And let's go to the next layer, which is D. And D is kind of empty except for these 5 over here. So the talkback that's from front of house, that's all the way back. I'll show you real quick here. I don't want to move the camera too fast, but all the way back there, there's a microphone set up. And basically, they'll be able to talk into the ears of everyone here on stage with that fader we just showed you there. There will be a talkback mic for this person, which shows up right here. The music director shows up right there. And then Josh's talkback, Josh is our worship leader, he's right there. And then this is Max. So this is the computer all the way back at front of house, sending some music forward in case anybody needed any of that. We've got a fader for that as well. So now let's go on to this next section right over here. Okay, so this section over here, Bank 2 is what it's called, and we'll go through all the layers and talk about what's on here. So first thing we've got, these are all in red. So these are all of our sends out to those ear packs we talked about. Like this is IEM5 here. This is actually the monitor positions pack because it has no label. Most of them have a label like this. It'll say 1 all the way through 9. So let's take a look. So we see on this one, we have 1 through 8. And they're all the way up at unity, which is 0. We refer to 0 as unity. And that's where we want to keep them. We want to make sure the send going from this desk is a nice full signal going to their ears. So they can control the volume on here, you know, kind of thing. So we let them do that. We don't want to undersend them signal or oversend them signal. So we just keep it at unity. So let's go to the next layer. Let's check it out. So this is 1 through 8. You see this layer only has 2 things. This is aux 9 and 10. So those are our send to pack 9 and pack 10. All right, let's go to the next one, layer C. These are for our effects, sends, and returns. The cool thing about this is it's got our reverb, our delay, and we have spots for 2 more effects we don't currently use right now, but we could add some stuff later. And then the returns. The return is where you control how much is actually going to the pack. With this, the send always stays the same, but the return is what we'll bring up a little bit. And I'll show you more about that as we get into mixing for a pack. Let's go to layer D. Layer D only has 2 things, the wedge and the IEM. All that really means is that we want to keep the signal going up to this because that goes to this special pack right here all the way up. So we don't want to adjust that. As long as that stays the same, again, we've got good signal coming out to this pack, then the person in monitor position will be able to listen to everybody's mix from this guy right here. He can move back and forth, he or she can move back and forth from any mix they want to and be able to make it sound better and be able to make adjustments and hear what the musician is hearing as they're making those changes on the desk. So since it's a monitor console, we have a signal going from here out to a wireless receiver. It kind of looks like this is one option. To some headphones, you know. Normally a lot of people on stage, they'll have special in-ear headphones. So it looks something like this kind of setup. So this is IEM5, this is the headphones. So that's kind of cool. So if I wanted to send something to this pack, how would I do that? So let me show you how to do that. So how do we send some signal from here to the pack? All right, so everything's already all set up for us. So let's mess with this guy. Let's mess with IEM5. Okay, so I've got him up and I've got him turned all the way up. It's coming out to these little headphones here. So if we want to send something to it, let's find out. So let's go to 5. So how do we do that? Well, you've got a couple of ways we can do that. It's really nice. We've got these little soft keys on the side here, and they are listed 1 all the way through 10. So all we need to simply do is push 5, correlating with IEM5 right there. And that'll bring us up a whole new mix. Now I'm going to do that again. I'm going to pull the camera out here. I'm going to show you. So if I go off of that, we'll see the faders move. But now that I'm touching that, the faders are moving to that position for that mix. So let's say I want to send something to that mix. So right now, everything's kind of set at unity for drums. They've got a little bit of drums. They've got some bass already up. Now the keys are pulled down a little bit. And if we go down through these layers, you'll see they've already got a little bit of a mix set up and going. But I've gone ahead and sent some music from our front of house console. So let's turn that up. And I'm going to move the fader and I'm going to bring the camera over here closer to the speakers, the little headphones. So I'm going to bring the fader up and down. And of course you can hear it getting louder and quieter as I move that fader in correlation with it. So now, if they want some of that, they'll tell you more or less, and you can bring it up or down based upon what their request is. And then when you're done with that mix, you can literally just touch it, and now you've left their mix. You're not altering mix 5 anymore. Okay, so for this next example, I want to show you here, you're over here running monitors. You're in monitor world, you are the monitoring engineer. This is your pack. And you got some headphones, you know, whether you're wearing these or you're wearing kind of in-ears. In-ears is normally what we would want you to wear. And the reason being is because most of the band is using something just like that. So the changes you're going to be making on headphones like this may sound different than they would on this. So that you can hear it exactly like the band's hearing it, usually something like this is better. We have a few extra spare pairs if you don't have any of them. And we can always make headphone recommendations if you want to make some custom in-ears or something like that. So for this example, I want to show you this in-ear pack right here. This can listen to anybody's mix. So how do we do that? Well, there's this little button right down here, PAFL. That's all you got to do. You got to push that if you want to hear it. So let's say we want to hear mix 1. So we'll touch this button. Now that mix right there is sending to this pack right here, just because we've touched that button. And it's also gone ahead and selected its mix and brought it up for us. So right now we have some signal coming on this Mac here. I'm gonna bring it up, and you can hear that over here, going up and down. But now what if, let's just say we wanna listen to their mix, and we want some of that Mac up, okay. Well, now we wanna go to mix 2, because they want some too. Well, they got nothing. So now we're gonna bring it up for them. All right, same thing for 3. All right, now 1 has told us they want a little bit less. Okay. Oh, now 2 wants a little less. But you hear it change as we're moving from these different packs. So the most important thing when you're running ears for people is going to be that you are directly connected to their ears. And if you turn it up too loud, you can hurt somebody by doing that. That would be bad. So how do we manage making sure we're not turning up too loud or too quiet? So when a band member's on stage and they're wanting a little more during sound check or during rehearsal time, easy signal, up means more, down means less, stop. Those are the good 3 hand signals. Up, down, stop. Okay? Now, just be cautious. That's what I always tell everybody. It's always easier to just give it a little bit than go crazy. What do I mean by that? I'm going to turn around the camera. So let's say, for example, that we're on mix 2 and we're listening in because we got our ear pack set up. So we'll make sure that's up and on. Okay, so they're telling us they want more of this channel. So we wouldn't want to go, is that enough? Because that would be bad. You could potentially hurt somebody. So we always do slow movements until they say stop. They're happy. And then they may say stop, wait, make it a little less. Okay, that's all right. A little less. Boom. That's the best way you can do. Just be gentle with all your movements because you're controlling right into their ears. Don't want to hurt anybody. Okay, so the band's going, they're playing, and you've got everybody's ears set, everybody's happy. So what can you do now as a monitoring engineer? What's next for you? Well, what you can do is you can go over here to this layer B, and you can come listen in on mix 10. Now, normally no one's on mix 10. Most Sundays, just 1 through 9 are going to be used. Well, the cool thing about that is that you can kind of make this your own mix. So you can kind of find what you need to hear. You can kind of set things the way you like, and you can make little small adjustments and be like, I wonder what it would sound like if I added more of these audience mics, perhaps, or if I added some of these room mics, perhaps. What would that sound like? Is that a good change? Is it a bad change? And you may find like, I don't want to do that. Or, ooh, that's going to sound really good. And then you can say, hey guys, I was listening to this earlier and maybe adding in a little bit of this channel might sound really good in your ears. Y'all want to hear what that sounds like. Don't take it upon yourself to go changing a lot of people's mixes, especially when they're playing, because that can be very distracting. But you're part of the team up here. So we want to, you want to be influential in making their experience more comfortable. And anybody who's playing on stage, you want to make them be able to not even really think about, oh, I got this ear mix and I got all these things going on. You just want them to be able to worship and enjoy the moment and be in it. Okay, so this is a little extra freebie, but somebody brings you their pack and they say, hey, I'm getting tons of interference. I have static noise. Well, what do you do? All right, well, here's a great thing to check. So first, we have IEM 5, and I just turned it on here. So in just a moment, it's gonna, there it goes, it tells us IEM5. So you can come over here to these packs, and you'll see this one right here is labeled IEM5. Okay, so perhaps it just lost its sync. So if you want to sync these packs, okay, so you come up to this pack and you can just simply push sync, and then you hold the pack in front of it. It says sync success. I'm gonna do that again at another angle. So if I press sync, and I've got this pack open like this, see how the sync area is like a little reflective there. If I push this and I hold this here, it'll say sync successful right there. And what's going on the pack here is it says the same thing. I'll do it a couple times. There, to sync success. You'll be able to see this a little easier in person than on camera, but I'm happy to show you anytime you want. Most of the time, another little kind of fun thing is we keep most of these locked. And what does that mean? So if you come over here and we go down to utilities and we go down to lock panel, we lock all. Why do we do that? Well, if you were leaning against this rack and you accidentally flip the power, because it's locked, it won't go off. And this is an antenna transmitter. This is sending power to the antenna to be able to send to that pack. Well, I didn't lose power because it's locked. So this is a safety measure that we make sure everything stays on all the time. So there you go. So when you're working on the console, and let's just say the drummer asks you for a change in his mix. Well, how do you know what number he's on? Well, the cool thing is anytime you're running the monitor console, you are the monitoring engineer, you're gonna have a little sheet from Planning Center that's gonna tell you who's on what pack. This is something we will provide to you at the beginning of the day when you get here. So you'll know that Josh, our worship leader, is on 1, and that, let's say, John is playing drums, or maybe Nathan's playing drums. Well, you can go to his mix on 8 and make a change for him, less, more, what he might need. So there you go. Okay, so now you've kind of finished for the day, and you've made all your changes, and you're ready to shut down because the day's over. How do we do that? It's pretty easy. So what you got to do is maybe you've been working on stuff and you've got all kind of different things on the screen. So however this screen looks, just to get back to the shutdown area, you push processing, and then you push it again. Now you can actually do that if you were, let's just say, down here on a different fader. Push it again, it'll come back to this screen, and we choose power down. Okay, so let's touch power down, and then it'll ask us, are we sure? So yes, we're sure. Then it'll say it's now safe to shut us down. So we'll go around to the back of the console, and we will turn the power switch off, and that's it. Console is done. Wait, we forgot our dust cover, and it's right here waiting for us, ready to go back on the console so it can be put away, safe, no dust, no troubles. Dunzo. Just like that. And there it is.